Well, Manchester United will be aiming for their first European trophy since 2017 when they face Tottenham Hotspur in next week's Europa League Final. And one player in search of his first European trophy of his career is Harry Maguire. The English defender has been a key figure in United's unbeaten run through the Europa League, and he caught up with our own Guillem Balague to discuss next Wednesday's Europa League Final. Take a listen.
Do you remember the first cup final you ever played, even as a kid? Is there anything of that that remains when a cup final is approaching now?
I think you should try and take some aspects of that into the cup final, even though that you were 7-8 years old. I think you've got to remember is that cup finals, they're there to be enjoyed as well. You've got to take that mentality into the game. You've got to enjoy it as much as you can. Enjoy the occasion, take it all in. And I think when you enjoy your football and you're taking it all in and you don't play the occasion, you'll play a lot better.
This has been a good campaign in Europe. The way the manager puts it is that you've been more urgent in both boxes, basically playing better. Is that how you feel as well?
Yeah, definitely. For sure, we've been nowhere near good enough in the Premier League. It's been really disappointing, really tricky season. 2 months ago, obviously, sat in the Premier League and not really nothing to play for. I mean, that's unheard of as a Manchester United team, so nowhere near good enough. And the last 2 months have been difficult. We've lacked a little bit of urgency. We've changed the team a lot in between games. We've had no rhythm of a team playing because we have prioritised the Europa in terms of keeping people fresh and ready, and we suffered a lot through injuries. So the managers had to protect a lot of players who's coming back from injury. So it has been difficult. But yeah, we've been really good in the Europa League. So long may that continue, and hopefully we can go again.
What is it like to train with Rúben Amorim and his coaching staff compared to others, or as you've done in the past?
No, he's really good. He's really intense. I think his first few months he wanted to work more on his ideas, but it was so difficult because we was just 2-3 games a week and always a game in the midweek, and it stopped us really being able to really work on the pitch on his ideas. And I think the recent weeks we have done, but like I said, it's been difficult because we've been changing teams so much from Premier League to Europa League. But I think it's been a difficult season, no doubt about it, in the Premier League. But I know for sure next season we will improve.
And there's like a final against a team that seems to have your number. What is it so difficult to decipher about Spurs for you this season?
Yeah, they've beat us 3 times. It's been difficult against them. I think big moments have gone their way against us. Listen, I think the last game we played under Rúben, under them, we was arguably the better team. We created a lot of chances in the game, should really score, and then they hit us on the counter a couple of times. So no, it made it difficult. But listen, we're a different team to what we was at the start of the season for sure. Totally different, and yeah, we're looking forward to the game.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Harry. Thank you.
Zach, what do you think of Harry Maguire as a player, as a leader, and just as a person?
I go more for the person. You know, footballing wise, you know, winning the league with Leicester, getting a big money move to Manchester United, and what he's been through with Man United and England, with all the stick what he's been under, and it just shows him as a man, as Harry's carried himself, because a lesser man would have folded, in a sense where a couple of seasons ago they take the captaincy off him, and he could have crumbled. But he's stuck to his guns, and he leads by example. Even if he hasn't given a good performance, he's still putting in that hard work rate. He lives and dies for Man United.
The Hood?
Yeah, I mean, his character cannot be questioned. And the thing that I love so much about him, and I would say respect so much about him, during the time when he was down, you learn a lot about a person when things aren't going their way, not when things are going well. You didn't hear a word from him, right? You didn't hear him going to the press. You didn't hear him barking at the media. You didn't hear him barking at the manager. He put his head down. He worked his way back in. And Jeff Shreves and I, and we were all here together, Nico, and Jeff was in. And you asked the question, who can you trust if you're Rúben Amorim? And we came up with Harry Maguire. And a lot of people on social media, a lot of people who watch the Golazo network and Morning Footy laughed. Well, how's that looking now? His leadership, his consistency under Amorim, and I think his experience is really showing. And when you look back to his biggest moment, the goal against Lyon, that might be his biggest moment of his Manchester United career thus far.
Well, I mean, he's been the constant over the last how many seasons? Sure, I think it's difficult to have a standout year at Manchester United when United has been poor. There's been seasons that it hasn't been so bad. I mean, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they finished second in the league. Let's remember that, right? There were moments that, sure, there was a little bit of optimism in certain trajectories in a couple of good seasons that Manchester United had. But Harry Maguire has bounced back several times. I mean, he was a meme, right?
Yeah.
Like in the modern age, when you open your phone and you scroll down your social media, a bad Manchester United performance, he was the poster boy of that. So it does say a lot about his personality, because I guarantee you he knows about that. It's not like he's blind to what's going on and what everybody is talking about, what the masses are talking about. He understands the situation he's in, how he's bounced back, the situation his club is in at the moment. He mentioned several times in that interview about the rotations in the league and how they haven't really had any consistency because the team has changed so much. I think that says a lot about United's moment right now. And despite all of that, despite everything's going on, I feel like this is the despite final. Despite Spurs being so bad, despite Manchester United being so poor, one of them is going to be playing in Champions League next season.
Literally, what I have written, I've got the word despite right here. So, listen, literally, despite the fact that Manchester United unbeaten in Europa League, despite the fact
they're
that
the only unbeaten team in all of Europe.
That's
Manchester United.
All of Europe.
Yeah, Conference League, Champions League, and Europa League. They're the only unbeaten team.
But don't look at the Premier League record, because that definitely has heads turning. I mean, in the Premier League, they have yet to beat Spurs this season. So what are we going to see from this matchup?
Well, you have to keep in mind that Tottenham, they do have some massive injuries going into the final. James Maddison, the knee injury, that's a massive one. And Dejan Kulusevski, recently injured, that's another massive one. And those are two players, when you look at how this Spurs side have gotten after United, those are two players. United don't do well with a midfield runner from deep who can stay connected to Dominic Solanke. And we saw that with Lyon, where Ryan Cherky tore them to shreds as soon as Malik Fofana and Lacazette came in. Then you have interchanging of movement, and I think that back three, in terms of three center backs, they don't shift and interchange with each other when Harry Maguire has to step out of that middle position. The one player, though, that when he sees Manchester United, he just says, you know what, I think I'm going to score a goal today, is they don't have an answer. They haven't had an answer for Dominic Solanke. Dominic Solanke scores goal after goal after goal, both when he's been at Tottenham and when he was at Bournemouth. I mean, I think his physicality with a player like Harry Maguire, that's an advantage for Tottenham. And he's coming into his own and scoring big goals for Spurs and Big Ange.
So both teams having such bad seasons, who do you think needs this trophy more?
Spurs.
Yeah.
There's still going to be problems at United even if they win the trophy. And Spurs, it feels like they're going to move on from the manager, win or lose, right?
So then, win or lose, why wouldn't you say Manchester United then?
Who needs it more? Because I don't think the trophy is going to change the direction of Manchester United. I think it's going to put more pressure on them to get it right next season.
The only reason why I disagree is just because of the finances with what the Champions League brings in. So it will help Man United with what's going on financially. Like Tottenham, they seem like they're going financially. It doesn't seem like they've got any problems, but we're seeing Man United's financial problems everywhere, even with bringing the staff to the game.
Sure. I agree. I mean, in that sense, I agree. From a footballing perspective, maybe just from an institutional perspective, Spurs that hasn't won a trophy in so long. That one League Cup, what was it, 2011 or something?
Maybe further back than that, 2008.
Whatever. They haven't won in a really long time. And a lot of these kids that support Spurs that don't even, this is a major trophy. I think this would be a bigger deal for Spurs than it is for United. I think it still would be a bigger deal. I think it's more about like Champions League than winning the Europa League, really, for both of these teams.